Good afternoon. Just under 20 minutes to go in today's football matches. Plenty of time for scorelines to change, and every point is precious. Gary Pallister, Martin Keown and Garth Crooks are paying close attention to 6 Barclays Premier League matches that are being played. A 7th already over. Everton 1, Fulham 0, the result. An 8th between Tottenham and Liverpool kicks off at 5:30. More details on that Everton-Fulham game is on the way. But let's immediately go to the Britannia Stadium where Stoke are playing Arsenal. Andrew James reporting.
Yes, Stoke 1, Arsenal 0. Ever seen the film Groundhog Day, Ray? Long throw from Rory Delap, header by Fuller. That was Stoke's goal in the first half. Arsenal made 4 changes. They left Van Persie and Walcott, amongst others, on the bench at the start of the game. They're both now on, but Stoke quite comfortable in this game at the moment. Arsenal really struggling to acclimatise to Stoke's play and the conditions. Stoke 1, Arsenal 0.
Arsenal let that big lead go in midweek. Are they going to lose at Stoke? Let's head over to Stamford Bridge with Chelsea playing Sunderland. Chelsea going top of the table, it would appear. And let's hear from Roger Johnson.
That's because it's Chelsea 5, Sunderland 0. It's been raining all afternoon, literally and metaphorically raining goals. Alex got the first, Chelsea's 1,000th in the Premier League. Anelka added 2 more from inside the 6-yard box before the break, both with a suspicion of offside, which brought protests from Roy Keane and a second-half seat in the stands after being dismissed by the referee. Lampard added a 4th, the 100th of his career, and Anelka completed his hat-trick, all the goals from relatively close range. Sunderland have offered precious little threat. The leaden skies no doubt reflect Keane's mood. 5-0 to Chelsea.
Manchester United comfortably ahead at Old Trafford at home to Hull City. Let's go back to the Britannia Stadium. Developments, Andrew James.
It's a second goal to Stoke City, Ray. The second to come from a Rory Delap throw. And it looks to me as if it's Andy Farr who's got the goal. It's a long throw in from this side, certainly. Just a distraction as Adebayor is being carried away on a stretcher. But the main news is that Stoke City, with a second goal here, lead Arsenal by 2-0.
Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. Lots of questions are going to be asked about their season. A Manchester United victory over Hull is going to take them 3rd in the table. Ivan Gaskell reporting.
Yes, Manchester United 4, Hull City 2, with just over a quarter of an hour left here at Old Trafford. Hull simply delighted to be here for the first league trip to Old Trafford in 33 years. Spirits rather dampened early on, just 3 minutes gone. Cristiano Ronaldo's early goal saw to that. Kuzan's header had Hull jumping 20 minutes later, but then Carrick, then Ronaldo again. Vidic in the second half, 4-2. Mendes pulled one back for Hull, but it looks all over for them.
Could be a winning goal for Ipswich at home to Queen's Park Rangers. What a remarkable performance from Stoke City.
It's been a remarkable afternoon. Every single game there's something either controversial or spectacular in it. But very first, at the Britannia Stadium, Rory Delap, who's been throwing these balls in like torpedoes, have actually caused Arsenal mayhem. And they couldn't handle him. Fuller scores the second goal, Stoke get a second, and it's all from the Delap throw.
Martin, we know Arsenal play terrific football. Stoke walked out with 10 players over 6 foot. They're using Delap's throws to advantage. They're fighting, they're scrapping. And Arsenal haven't got an answer today. Why?
Well, they put out Bentner, they played Diaby in midfield, both over 6 foot. They brought extra height into the team. But, you know, I mean, really today, the first ball that came in, Arsenal loaded the front post, and the ball went to the back post. And you know, I'm not sure they're distributing the players correctly across the back line. And, you know, all credit to them. I think they've reduced the size of the pitch again before today's game. There's this obsession with the long ball, and today they're coming out.
You can't play. No. This is just mealy-mouthed stuff. You've been well and truly whacked today, and you know it.
Do you feel as though Arsenal could have defended better, or surely we should be saying, well done, Stoke City?
You've got to give credit to Stoke City. They know they're not going to survive by playing football. They're playing to their strengths. They know that it's a weapon, it's a potent weapon, and they've used it again today. Whether you get a header in there or not as an Arsenal defender, you're not going to get distance on it. It's going to cause mayhem. That's the way they've played all season.
It's gone!
What's happening, guys?
Van Persie's been sold
just
off.
Come on as
and arguably it's justified on this.
Well,
this is extraordinary.
Let's go back to the Britannia Stadium. Andrew James following the Stoke-Arsenal match.
Well, Ray, I have to say, speaking as a neutral, this is Arsenal at their worst. Sometimes when they lose it, it goes completely wrong for them. Van Persie has only been on the pitch less than 10 minutes as a second-half substitute after being left out of the starting lineup. Inexplicably, presumably just temper and frustration, he's gone straight up to Sorensen, the Stoke City goalkeeper, barged into him, and Sorensen is out cold on the goal line. He's receiving attention at the moment. absolutely no excuse. I doubt even Arsene Wenger can defend that one. It's Olafinjana's goal, by the way, confirmed, the second for Stoke, bundling it over the line from the long Delap throw. Sorensen's now back on his feet. It's Stoke 2, Arsenal 0.
No argument. The ball was in the goalkeeper's hands. Van Persie just followed through.
He's taunting him, isn't he? Sorensen's taunting him. The ball's at his feet, and he's put his hands near the ball and said, come and get it. And as soon as he comes anywhere near him, I'm going to pick it up. He does that. Van Persie's upset with him. He takes a little stamp at him, and then he barges into him. Is it a sending off?
I think it's
petulant. That
it is petulant. It's an overreaction, yes, but you don't do that, and you're showing your discipline. It's as a result of things not going their way this week.
No argument with that red card, really. Would you agree?
None whatsoever.
And what about Roy Keane being sent to the stands, the Sunderland manager at Stamford Bridge?
Well, Roy Keane, in the area that we're trying to actually show respect to the officials, he's obviously said something on 2 occasions, something quite stern to the referee, and he sent him in the stand, and probably the referee had no alternative.
Do you agree with that, Martin?
Well, I mean, I was watching the game today, and the dominance from Chelsea was actually incredible. And for Roy to argue at half-time, he's not serving his team in the best possible way for me. Sat up in the stand, he can't do anything for his team.
You suggested earlier this afternoon that you felt as though Roy Keane had perhaps lost the plot today.
Well, I think there were radical changes to the team. They played very well at Newcastle last week. In midweek, they get a bad result. He's hit them with the stick. He's made 5 changes. It hasn't worked.
Well, there were 2 incidents in the game that caused Roy to get very annoyed. The referee made 2 incidents that changed the face of the game. Now, is he allowed to speak to the referee and say, look, this is not fair?
Well, obviously, he's allowed to. It's the manner in which he's done it.
Yeah, well, the respect issue, we can discuss about this later. But can you use the big stick all the time? Roy Keane's warned his players that he'd subbed them after 5 minutes, made 5 changes. Does the big stick always work?
I don't think so. And I think in this case, he had to look at the way they performed against Newcastle. It took a lot out of the Sunderland players, I think. It was such a big game for them. I think it took a lot out of them, and you were going to get a reaction, I think, in midweek after that. Yes, it wasn't a great performance. Roy was unhappy. I think you had to maybe say to the players, right, you didn't perform. Go out and put it right this weekend. Manchester
United going 3rd. It's a bit of a reality check for Hull this week. I think you have to say well done United, don't you?
Yeah, well done United, well done Hull, because I think they've done very well. But I have to say that Mike Jones in the West Brom-Blackburn game, when you watch Match of the Day tonight, is in danger of turning the game into a non-contact sport. There are 2 incidents in this game where I think the public will be alarmed that one of these incidents results in McCarthy being sent off, totally unjustified in my view.
Leyton Orient 3rd, bottom of the table. Now they're getting a late winner at home to Hartlepool. Adam Boyd, 9 minutes to go. First home game for Tony Adams, having been officially confirmed as the new Portsmouth manager. Pompey playing Wigan, who arrived 3rd bottom in the table. Dan Walker's at Fratton Park.
And Portsmouth have just had another effort cleared off the line. It's all Portsmouth in this second half, Ray. Whatever Tony Adams said at half-time, it's clearly worked. It's a really scrappy game in the driving rain on the south coast. And Portsmouth trailed to an Amezaki penalty just before half-time. But they've hit the bar 4 times, the home side. Cranchard's had a free kick cleared off the line as well. No way through for Wigan at the moment. And Adams is in his technical area, drenched but defiant.
A long way to go in that game, it would appear. Middlesbrough stood 10th in the table when a home game with West Ham kicked off. Hammers arrived on a run of 4 defeats. Paul Addison reporting.
Middlesbrough 0, West Ham 1. Still Ray here at the Riverside. Borough have had the ball in the back of the net in the last few minutes. Justin Hoyt's header, though, ruled off for offside. So Hayden Mullins' first half strike still separates the side. And West Ham going to win after their 4 straight defeats. Borough 0, the Hammers 1.
West Bromwich Albion versus Blackburn at the Hawthorns now, both in the bottom half of the table at kick-off. David Garrido.
Well, West Brom 2, Blackburn 1's the latest here. The Baggies going behind early on to a Benny McCarthy penalty. Roman Bednar side-footed home an equaliser, but then a superb turn and left-foot snapshot from Ishmael Miller gave West Brom the lead, his 2nd goal in as many games. The big talking point, though, Benny McCarthy sending off for a 2nd yellow card for deliberate handball. West Brom 2, Blackburn 1.
Hull City always surprise us. Ivan Gaskell's at Old Trafford.
Boy, are they enjoying this Premier League journey. Hull City have a penalty. We have still got 10 minutes left here. They trail 4-2. Mendy brought down by Ferdinand. Very little doubt. The referee pointed straight to the spot. Giovanni has the chance to score a 3rd Hull goal at Old Trafford. Extraordinary. Van der Sar standing tall. Giovanni takes and scores. It's Manchester United 4, Hull City 3. That's fantastic.
And still 9 minutes to go at Old Trafford. Goal at the Riverside. This is Middlesbrough against West Ham. Paul Addison.
Borough 1, West Ham 1. All the Middlesbrough pressure has told Ray. Substitute Mido came off the bench in the second half. He won a free kick on the edge of the area, took it himself, a daisy cutter that beat Robert Green and hit the back of the net. West Ham frustrated. It's all level here at 1-1.
If Hull City come back to go 4-4 at Manchester United this afternoon, we'll really just have to take a look at everything we thought about this Premier League season.
I don't know which screen to watch. It's just been fantastic stuff all afternoon. I mean, Hull have deserved everything they've got, and they're not out of it yet. They can still get an equaliser. Middlesbrough have just equalised through Mido. West Ham have been fantastic, but Mido have really turned the screw and got what they deserve. I mean, all in every screen, it's just been fantastic stuff.
For all the talk of the Premier League giants, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool play Tottenham later this evening, Stoke City and Hull City have been made such a refreshing contribution to this football season.
Well, you look at Stoke, they really believe in the way that they play the game, and Hull full of confidence. They just don't know when they're beaten. You know, they're going to get back and do what Tottenham did to Arsenal midweek. Paddy laughing at me before we came to the studio, but it could end up 4-4.
Egg on me first by the end of the day, but Hull have been terrific when they've had the ball. Now, Manchester United could have scored 8 or 9 today, don't get me wrong. But when they've had the ball, Hull, they've played some really good football and deserved the 3 goals that they've scored.
Steve Bruce is absolutely soaking wet on the touchline. He's kicking every ball for his team, and I think that sort of, in a way, represents the passion that we've seen throughout these matches this afternoon.
Tony Adams is the same, absolutely the same. All the coaches have been there. Keane's in the stand, he's the only one that's dry.
It's all Portsmouth at the moment.
Millwall are going to lose this afternoon. They kicked off second in the League One table. Brighton 4, Millwall 1. First time Brighton have had back-to-back wins so far this season. Still plenty of time for the situation to change. Stoke beating Arsenal by 2-0. Chelsea 5 up. It's 4-3 now at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Hull City. More details on the game played at Goodison Park now. Final whistle in the Everton-Fulham game went just on 2 hours ago. Steve Wilson reporting.
A crucial first home win of the season for Everton, secured by Louis Saha's header just 4 minutes from time, diverting a Leon Osman cross beyond Mark Schwarzer in the Fulham goal. It was just about a deserved victory. Fellaini hit the post in the first half for Everton. Cahill missed a great headed chance early in the second, but Fulham had their moments too, not least when Zoltan Gira headed against the crossbar just after Cahill had missed his opportunity, and then Howard made a great save from a Jimmy Bullard free kick, only for Zamora to put the follow-up against the post. But it's Everton's day, 1-0 at Goodison.
No, it's not.
Everton 7th in the table, Fulham now 14th. Shrewsbury 6 wins out of 8 at the New Meadow. Luton looks very difficult for them to avoid being the first team to have 3 successive relegations. Let's go back to Portsmouth. Portsmouth against Wigan. Dan Walker reporting.
And Tony Adams' side have an equaliser, Ray, at last. They've really battered Wigan in this second half. Nico Cranchar, the man that Adams brought on at half-time, and the man who's made the difference, is now the man who scored the goal as well from yet another corner. The ball came to him on the edge of the box, and he fired it in with his left boot. It's 1-1.
Full-time whistles starting to sound. In the SPL, Rangers are playing Inverness. Rangers going top of the table. Celtic play tomorrow. Ian Turner.
4 minutes to go. Rangers 5, Inverness 0. And a combination of Rangers taking their foot off the pedal and Inverness tightening things up at the back means we've had no goals since half-time. Chris Boyd's already got a hat-trick, 1 from the penalty spot. Nacho Novo and Kenny Miller the others. And after an injury absence of 5 months, Rangers and Scotland captain Barry Ferguson is back as a second-half substitute. Rangers lead 5-0.
Quite a game at Vicarage Road, isn't it? Watford 3, Blackpool 3. Gary Taylor-Fletcher equalising goal, 5 minutes to go. In the Championship, top 3 don't play. Wolves play away at Cardiff, 5:20 kick-off. Second place, Reading play tomorrow. Second place, Birmingham play at the weekend. Reading going third. Hamish Marshall reporting.
Indeed they are, because they're winning against Bristol City by 4-0 and are on course for just their second away win of the season. And the scoreline fairly reflects this game. Bristol City had gone 405 minutes without conceding a goal, but they let in 2 in a minute to Doyle and Noel Hunt, and 2 early second-half goals, a second for Doyle and a cracker from Cisse, have put this result beyond any doubt.
Keith has to play extra time in the Scottish Cup. Huddersfield 3, Crew 2. Crew are bottom of League One going into this afternoon's games. Back to the Championship. Burnley making progress. 1 defeat in 12 going into a home game with Norwich. James Mason.
Yeah, and they're still leading through a Chris Eagles double. It looks to have settled all 3 points. Both beautifully taken after some excellent passing football, which has blown Norwich away. They've been poor. It's Burnley 2, Norwich 0.
Sheffield United's unbeaten home record will remain intact, it would appear. It looks like they're going to move into a playoff place. Alan Biggs.
Yeah, Sheffield United 2, Plymouth 0. It's taken a penalty and a free kick to confirm United's dominance, but let's not forget that the scorer of both, James Beattie, also forced the 2 awards themselves, which came within 9 minutes. Beattie blasting home from the spot after triggering a flowing move and then forcing a free kick on the edge of the area, and he hammered the free kick home. Sheffield United 2, Plymouth 0.
Ipswich unbeaten in 4 going into this game at Portman Road, so are Queen's Park Rangers. Looks like Ipswich are going to get mover nearer towards the playoff places. Andy Barwell.
And there's more purpose about Ipswich in the second period. They lead 2-0. Substitute Jonathan Stead's shot was blocked by Radek Cherny. Second chance fell to Stead and he poked it home. Minutes later, Owen Garvin's corner, perfectly met by Stead. Manager Jim Magilton will be more than satisfied with his substitution. It's Ipswich 2, QPR 0.
The Blue Square Premier League leaders Kettering losing at home to Weymouth. James Coots with the winning goal, perhaps with 3 minutes to go. Back to the Championship. Preston against Southampton. Richard Askham reporting.
Preston 2, Southampton 2. Ray, Preston looked shell-shocked after letting a game they were winning at a canter slip away. 2-0 up at the break, thanks to goals from Jones and Elliott. They switched off this half, and a battling Southampton have drawn level through 2 headed goals from Pearce and Surman. It's been all hustle and bustle from the home side since then. Mellor could have scored a moment ago, but slipped, and a victory that looked to certainty is slipping away from Preston.
Let's hear about the match at Vicarage Road between Watford and Blackpool from Mark Bishop.
Yeah, what a game, Ray. Watford 3, Blackpool 3. Blackpool have come back from behind 3 times in this incredible game in torrential rain at Vicarage Road. Southern made it 1 apiece. Ben Burgess 2-2 with a 25-yard lob. And now Gary Taylor-Fletcher has scored on the rebound 3 yards out off the post. Amazing match here. Watford 3, Blackpool 3.
Charlton and Barnsley both 2 points in relegation places when the match of the Valley kicked off, and Charlton are in big trouble, it would appear. This could be 1 win in 9 matches. Andy May.
Yeah, the away side 3-1 up and heading for their first ever win away at the Valley against Charlton. John Macken with 2 in the first 45, both of which from set pieces started by Ian Hume. Darren Moore nodded home a header as well just before half-time. Charlton much better in the second half. Mark Hudson scoring with his head, but not much time now for Alan Pardew's men to nick a point. It's looking unlikely. Charlton 1, Barnsley 3.
Andrews.
Developments at the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion playing 10 men at Blackburn. David Garrido.
And a very, very late equaliser from Blackburn. It's West Brom 2, Blackburn 2. The ball bobbling around just outside the box. The West Brom defence backing off. Keith Andrews invited to go forward, striking a sweet right foot shot past Scott Carson. West Brom, it's 2 points dropped for them. 2-2 here at the Hawthorns.
First win in 6 maybe for Southampton. Away at Preston, Richard Askham.
Could well be, Ray. Yeah, they look as though they snatched it. Preston 2, Southampton 3. David McGoldrick dancing through the Preston defence, sidestepping the last defender and calmly slotting home into the bottom left-hand corner. They're leading, by 3 goals.
Rangers 5-0 winners at Ibrox against Inverness, Caledonian Thistle. Top of the table. Celtic play away at Hearts tomorrow. League One leaders Scunthorpe at home to Swindon this afternoon. Graham Lloyd reporting.
Scunthorpe 3, Swindon 3. 11 minutes from time, Billy Painter was brought down in the Scunthorpe area and Simon Cox stepped up to slam home the penalty and complete his hat-trick. We've got 2 minutes left here. Been a great game. Scunthorpe 3, Swindon 3.
Good thing for Scunthorpe is the second place Millwall also losing heavily this afternoon away at Brighton by 4 goals to 1. League Two leaders Wickham unbeaten away at Rotherham. Carrie Davis reporting.
Well, there's literally seconds left here, Ray. Wickham leading by a goal to 0, and that's the final whistle. It ends Rotherham 0, Wickham 1. They've gone 14 matches unbeaten now. It was Simon Church's first goal since he arrived on loan from Reading. Mickey Cummins and Andrew Nicholas both went close for Rotherham. They literally threw everything they could in the last few minutes, but Wickham had everyone defending. It's ended Rotherham 0, Wickham 1.
Still a few minutes to go. Are we going to have late drama at Old Trafford? A whole city going to pull off yet another massive shock? Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, at 4-1 down, they look dead and buried. 3 minutes of added time here. Still 2 of those minutes to go. Big cheers from the Hull fans when that went up. And United incredibly hanging on after they did lead 4-1. It's 4-3 here.
Questions will be asked of Arsene Wenger and Arsenal. Let's go back to the Britannia Stadium. Stoke beating Arsenal by 2-0. Andrew James.
Yep, Ray, just starting 4 minutes of stoppage time, and as soon as the fourth official held the ball up, Theo Walcott's gone down, a yellow card for Rory Delap, so we haven't had the kick taken from that one. And Theo Walcott, they're calling for a stretcher. Bad news for Arsenal, they've already lost Adi Bayor, who went off on a stretcher. Now Theo Walcott will be stretchered off as well. 4 minutes will remain after this. Still Stoke 2, Arsenal 0.
That Walcott injury, we'll bring you more news on that when we can. To Stamford Bridge, Roger Johnson, Chelsea against Sunderland. Good day for Chelsea, top of the table. Bad day for Sunderland.
Sums it up. It finished Chelsea 5, Sunderland 0. Slate grey London skies brought incessant rain and a gloomy afternoon for Sunderland, who was swept away by Chelsea's blue tide. Alex scored their 1,000th goal in the Premier League to start it. 2 Anelka tap-ins brought interval protests and a dismissal to the stands for the Sunderland boss Roy Keane. Lampard headed his 100th career goal after the restart, and Anelka completed his close-range hat-trick. The final half an hour was just a training ground kickabout. Sunderland barely registered an attacking threat, and it will be a long trip home for them with a fuming manager. Chelsea are top, at least for a while, after thrashing Sunderland 5-0.
Roy Keane sent to the stand. We're hearing a lot about that. Gareth Southgate and Gianfranco Zola embrace at the end of the Middlesbrough-West Ham game, a match watched by Paul Addison.
Well, Gianfranco Zola might afford himself half a smile tonight because he stopped the rot. Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 1, and for so long the Hammers looked good for 3 points. Hayden Mullins' first half strike was equalised on 83 minutes by Mido. He transformed the game for Middlesbrough, who finished the stronger, but overall a draw, a fair result, I think. Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 1.
Charlton have lost at home to Vicarage Road, and Mark Bishop watching the Watford against Blackpool game.
Unbelievable scenes here, Ray. Watford 3, Blackpool 4. Blackpool have come from behind 3 times, and now they lead 4-3. Alan Gow racing into the penalty area, unchallenged, a rasping shot past Richard Lee, bottom left-hand corner. 776 Blackpool fans will go north tonight, very happy indeed. Watford 3, Blackpool 4.
What an afternoon, loads of goals being scored. Let's hear about Rangers against Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Ian Turner.
5-0 Rangers, and they did all they had to do in the opening 18 minutes, by which time they were 3 in front. A further 2 goals were on the scoreboard by half-time, while the second half saw a better Inverness and a satisfied Rangers. Chris Boyd completed a hat-trick in a 14-minute spell, including a penalty. Novo and Miller grabbed the others, while after a 5-match injury layoff, Rangers and Scotland captain Barry Ferguson made his return to first-team football, playing for the final 34 minutes. Rangers 5, Inverness 0.
Let's go to the Stoke-Arsenal game. It's not quite over, is it, Andrew James?
Ray, I wonder. It's Stoke 2, Arsenal 1, and Arsenal have got a goal back from Gael Clichy. It was the free kick given for the foul on Walcott. It's still 2-1 now to Stoke.
Let's immediately sprint to Fratton Park. Portsmouth against Wigan. Dan Walker.
Well, sucker punch from Wigan. Tony Adams and Portsmouth have been shocked in added time. Emil Heskey has made it 2-1 to the away side. They have threatened, it's been all Portsmouth, but Wilson Palacios just missed a chance, and Emil Heskey has poked it in. Surely now Wigan are going to get a victory at Fratton Park in Tony Adams' first game at home.
Wigan 4 defeats on the bounce. Important they got something today. We'll listen to him. Interesting to hear what Tony Adams says after the game. At Old Trafford, Ivan Gaskell has watched Manchester United against Hull. What a game, Ivan.
Fabulous stuff. United 4, Hull City 3, all over here. Hull's incredible Premier League journey taking yet another twist. They feared the worst when Ronaldo, running early rings around them, scored twice, the first in 3 minutes. Daniel Kuzan levelled it for Hull, but Carrick and Vidic put United 4-1 up. They seemed to be cruising before Mendy's lob, and then when Mendy was brought down by Ferdinand Giovanni from the spot, United had to hold on for 10 minutes. They did. For Hull, no cigars, but more terrific memories. United 4-3 winners.
And let's go to the Hawthorns. Drama there too this afternoon. Terrific game between West Bromwich Albion and Blackburn. Lots of talking points. David Garrido.
Absolutely, Ray. It's finished West Brom 2, Blackburn 2. A last gasp equaliser from Keith Andrews, salvaging a deserved point, I say, for 10-man Blackburn. They went into half-time 1-0 up after Benny McCarthy's penalty, but one man down, with McCarthy's debatable sending off for 2 yellow cards. Have a look on Match of the Day tonight to see what you think. The Baggies turned it round through Roman Bednar and then an excellent Ishmael Miller turn and shot. That looked to have sealed a valuable victory, but Paul Ince's side kept plugging away with plenty of guts and aggression. Andrews' right foot shot beating Carson at full strength. Ref Mike Jones has just gone off to booze. He didn't have a brilliant game, admittedly, but an enthralling game has finished. West Brom 2, Blackburn 2.
Let's go back to the Britannia Stadium. Closing stages of this match. Andrew James.
Yeah, last minute of stoppage time, Ray, and it's still Stoke 2, Arsenal 1. Clichy pulling that goal back. Strangely, really, Arsenal didn't seem to celebrate it, despite, of course, the recent memory of how Spurs got 2 goals back against them in midweek. And Rob Styles has yet to blow the final whistle. The crowd thought for a moment he'd done it there. Still... And so the goals from Fuller in the first half, a header from a long Rory Delap throw, his 5th of the season, a second from Olofinjana. Van Persie sent off for Arsenal in the second half, some 10 minutes after coming on as a sub. They've lost Adebayor through injury as well, and now Theo Walcott with what looks like a dislocated left shoulder. And Stoke still pressing forward. The fans earlier chanting, "Are you Tottenham in disguise?" There's going to be another card here for one of the Arsenal players. It's Cesc Fabregas who's going to be shown a yellow card. And Arsenal, by the way, playing with 9 players because of that situation. We'll come back for the final score, still 2-1.
Portsmouth against Wigan. This has been a sensational afternoon of football. Dan Walker.
Oh, Ray, this took a while to get going. Eventually, a second-half cracker in the driving rain at Fratton Park. Portsmouth were flat in the first half. Wigan went ahead. Amir Zaki with a penalty late on in the half, his 9th of the season. But Tony Adams shook it up at half-time. On came Cranchar. He changed things. Portsmouth hit the bar time and time again, had balls cleared off the line. And eventually, it was Cranchar who hammered in an equaliser. But then deep in added time, as the Pompey defence went walkabout, Emil Heskey popped in a winner, and it's a huge win for Wigan as well.
And let's immediately go back to the Britannia Stadium. Stoke have beaten Arsenal. Tony Pulis leading his side further away from the relegation places. Arsene Wenger absolutely furious. So much for Andrew James to tell us about.
That's right, Ray. Arsene Wenger, if he was angry on Wednesday night, he'll be absolutely furious this evening, as you say, because Arsenal made 4 changes for this game, but they never really looked up for it. They were a goal down at half-time. Fuller's header from a long throw by that man Rory Delap, and then they made changes in the second half. Van Persie and Walcott were both introduced, having been left out from the start, but it was Stoke who went 2-0 up. Another goal from a Rory Delap throw. Olofinjana bundling the ball over the line after Almunia seemed rooted to the spot and didn't come out to meet him. Then Arsenal down to 10 men after Van Persie was sent off for a petulant lunge at the goalkeeper, Thomas Sorensen. He'd barely been on the pitch 10 minutes, Van Persie. And then Arsenal got a goal back a minute into stoppage time. Rory Delap fouling Walcott. Walcott injuring his left shoulder as he went down. He was stretchered off. Arsenal down to 9 men at that point, having made all their substitutions. Clichy scored from that free kick, but Arsenal seemingly didn't have the fight to go on to get another goal and an equaliser. And Stoke it is who claim another win here at the Britannia Stadium. The final score, Stoke 2, Arsenal 1.
Goals galore this afternoon, it would appear. Let's take a check on what's been happening in the Championship. Bristol City against Reading. Hamish Marshall.
It finished Bristol City 0, Reading 4. Reading have sent out a warning and kept themselves in touch with the leading pack. They were a better side here from start to finish. 2 goals from Kevin Doyle, 1 from Noel Hunt, and a superb one from Cisse ended their goal drought, which had stretched for more than 3 hours. Stern John got a late goal for City, but if this had been a boxing match, the referee would have stopped it long before.
29 goals scored in the Barclays Premier League this afternoon. Tottenham and Liverpool can add to that, of course. All results just about in. Time for Tim Gudgeon to confirm today's final scores.
And opening, of course, with the Barclays Premier League. Chelsea 5, Sunderland 0. Everton 1, Fulham 0. Manchester United 4, Hull City 3. Middlesbrough 1, West Ham United 1. Portsmouth 1, Wigan Athletic 2. Stoke City 2, Arsenal 1. Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool kick off in a few minutes. West Bromwich Albion 2, Blackburn Rovers 2. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Bristol City 1, Reading 4. Burnley 2, Norwich City 0. Cardiff City and Wolverhampton Wanderers kick off in a few minutes. Charlton Athletic 1, Barnsley 3. Crystal Palace 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Doncaster Rovers 0, Swansea City 0. Ipswich Town 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Preston North End 2, Southampton 3. Sheffield United 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. Watford 3, Blackpool 4. In Coca-Cola League 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Millwall 1. Cheltenham Town 0, Leeds United 1. Huddersfield Town 3, Crewe Alexandra 2. Leicester City 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Leyton Orient 1, Hartlepool United 0. Milton Keynes Dons 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. Oldham Athletic 0, Yeovil Town 2. Peterborough United 2, Hereford United 0. Scunthorpe United 3, Swindon Town 3. Southend United 3, Colchester United 3. Stockport County 3, Carlisle United 0. Walsall 3, Northampton Town 1. League 2, Bournemouth 1, Chesterfield 1. Bradford City 3, Barnet 3. Brentford 1, Rochdale 2. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Accrington Stanley 0. Exeter City 2, Chester City 0. Grimsby Town 1, Darlington 2. Lincoln City 0, Port Vale 1. Macclesfield Town 0, Gillingham 1. Morecambe 2, Aldershot Town 0. Notts County 0, Bury 1. Rotherham United 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Shrewsbury Town 3, Luton Town 0. Blue Square Premier, Altrincham 0, Histon 1. Barrow 3, Forest Green Rovers 1. Burton Albion 3, Ebbsfleet United 1. Cambridge United 0, Rushton and Diamonds 0. Kettering Town 0, Weymouth 1. Kidderminster Harriers 2, Grays Athletic 0. Northwich Victoria 1, Eastbourne Borough 2. Oxford United 1, York City 0. Torquay United 2, Mansfield Town 0. Woking 0, Stevenage Borough 1. And Wrexham 2, Lewis 0. In the Clydesdale Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 0. Falkirk 0, Dundee United 0. Motherwell 2, Hamilton Academical 0. Rangers 5, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. St Mirren 0, Hibernian 0. Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Dundee 1, Airdrie United 1. Dunfermline Athletic 1, St Johnstone 2. Livingston 1, Greenock Morton 0. Partick Thistle 2, Queen of the South 0. Ross County 3, Clyde 0. Scottish Div 2, Arbroath 0, Ayr United 3. Peterhead 5, Brechin City 1. Queen's Park 0, East 5 0. Wraith Rovers 4, Alloa Athletic 1. Stirling Albion 3, Stranraer 2. And Scottish Div 3, Albion Rovers 3, Cowdenbeath 1. Dumbarton 5, Berwick Rangers 2. Elgin City 0, Forfar Athletic 1. Montrose 0, Stenhousemuir 3. The homecoming Scottish Cup second round, Annan Athletic 1, Spartans 2. Civil Service Strollers 0, Vale of Leithen 1. Keith 1, Forest Mechanics 1. They're still playing extra time there. Wick Academy 1, Edinburgh City 4.
Results from further down the pyramid system in English football will feature on a results roundup after 5:30. The thoughts of Gary Pallister, Martin Keown and Garth Crooks on today's performances are on the way after we've looked at the updated league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League, Chelsea take advantage of Liverpool's evening kick-off to return to the top. Their 5-goal rout over Sunderland means their goal difference is now double that of their rivals. Liverpool take on that rejuvenated Tottenham Hotspur side of White Hart Lane in tonight's evening kick-off and needing at least a point to reclaim top spot. Manchester United up to third after that entertaining win over Hull City at Old Trafford. The Tigers slipped to sixth as a result. Spurs, Bolton and Newcastle yet to play so far this weekend, but they make up the bottom three as things stand. Wigan's late winner away to Portsmouth, enough for them to swap places with the Magpies and move up to 16th. Stoke at 12th place, 4 points clear of trouble following their fine win over Arsenal. Coca-Cola Championship. Leaders Wolves are in action at Cardiff this evening, while second place Birmingham play Coventry on Monday. Reading closed the gap on the top two with a 4-1 win at Bristol City, while on-form Burnley beat Norwich. Doncaster remain bottom of the table after drawing with Swansea, while Charlton drop into the relegation places after defeat at home to Barnsley. Southampton fall back from 2 goals down to win at Preston, while Nottingham Forest visit Derby tomorrow. Coca-Cola League One. Scunthorpe continued to set the pace despite dropping points in a home draw with Swindon. Leeds moved to second with victory away to Cheltenham. Millwall lost some ground on their rivals with that heavy defeat at Brighton. Hereford slipped to the foot of the table following a 10th defeat of the season. Crewe also lost, but they move above Hereford on goals scored. Leyton Orient won for only the 3rd time this season, but stay in the relegation zone. Coca-Cola League Two. Darlington are top after their win at Grimsby. Wycombe second after their draw with Rotherham. Third place Bradford drew 3-3 with Barnet. Wycombe top of the table, though, as far as things go at the moment. Luton were beaten at Shrewsbury, while Bournemouth drew at Chesterfield. Like Rotherham, they begin the campaign with huge points deductions. Because of those penalties, Grimsby now 9 points clear of relegation, despite having yet to win. In the Blue Square Premier League, Rangers top after thrashing Inverness 5-0. Chris Boyd hitting a first-half hat-trick. Motherwell a third after beating bottom side Hamilton 2-0. Aberdeen beat Kilmarnock for the first home win of the season. Managers and players are emerging from their dressing room. Lots of post-match reaction is on the way. After this summary of the top football stories of the day. It's a throw joke for Arsenal as delapsed deliveries cause misery for the Gunners. Fuller and Lymphiana put into the Gunners before Van Persie sees red. 5-star Chelsea nicked top spot from Liverpool with Anelka hitting a hat-trick against the Black Cats. The champions survive a post-Halloween scare from Hull, with Ronaldo's brace sending them third. Heskey is the hero for Wigan. His late winner against Pompey lifts the Latics out of the bottom three. Nido to the rescue for Borough as the Hammers are denied victory at the Riverside. Rovers hit back for a point at the Hawthorns despite Benny McCarthy's first half sending off. Keith Andrews with a late equaliser for Blackburn. Louis Sahar returns on his own side as Everton finally won at Goodison Park. Highlights of all today's Barclays Premier League games and the Tottenham-Liverpool game still to be played in tonight's Match of the Day at 10:10 BBC One. All the goals, all the saves, all the major incidents will be shown. Bolton's game with Manchester City will be centre stage tomorrow night at 10 on BBC Two in Match of the Day 2. Also a chance to take another look at all today's Premier League goals. Garth, where should we start?
Well,
what an afternoon.
Start anywhere you like. The games, every single game of the Premiership was fantastic today. Goals galore. The conditions appalling. Credit to every single player in the Premiership today because they gave great value for money. Where do you want to start? Well, Rory Delap effect on Arsenal. Stoke have come away with all the points. They deserved it. They don't like it up from the Arsenal. I can't wait to hear what Arsene Wenger's got to say because Stoke were physical, but Arsenal couldn't stand up to it.
Arsenal's title credentials look battered. They look like they've got holes throughout them.
Yeah, I mean, today, two great philosophies. Arsenal's they didn't play any football at all today. I think Pallister even made the pitch smaller before the game, and they really bullied them. And what's disappointing is that Arsenal didn't stick to their game. They just were out-muscled. And Delap's throws tonight, I mean, he even nearly threw one out of the ground at one stage. I know it's windy, but the ball grew wings. You know, the ball is such a difficult one to deal with, and Arsenal loaded the front post, went far post, and it's a goal. That's the first one. And the second one, again, it's another long throw. you know, it's disappointing for Arsenal.
If we're going to give credit to Stoke City, even though in defeat we should give credit to Hull City, to score 3 times at Old Trafford, I think Stoke and Hull City have been refreshing in the Premier League this year.
Yeah, I think Hull today, I mean, they couldn't have conceded 8. You know, United were terrific, but they defended poorly, and Hull made them pay for that. I think the one thing you can say about Hull is they do play good football, especially on the counter-attack. They got 3 goals, and you've got to say they deserved that. Still ended up getting beat 4-3, and I think that's where the problem's going to lie for the rest of the season. They don't defend very well.
Garth, I noticed quite a few players crowding round referees at half-time today, and Roy Keane was sent to the stand. And just give us your impression, please, on where we stand with the respect issue.
Well, I think, first of all, it's very difficult for managers and players to buy into the respect campaign if referees aren't going to try and respect them. And what do I mean by that? You'll see at Stamford Bridge where there are 2 decisions that are very, very hard for Roy Keane to take. He responds, he gets sent in the stand. While at West Brom, Paul Ince has a decision where Benny McKenzie gets sent off. I think it's an appalling decision. To be fair, Mike Jones is the man that makes the decision. It's his decision, we have to go with it. But Paul Ince conducts himself impeccably, doesn't respond. So there's 2 ends of the spectrum. It'll be interesting to hear what people say when they watch it tonight at Match of the Day.
But isn't it the duty of players and managers to, whatever the decision of people who make mistakes, to keep their cool and show respect, whatever the situation?
Well, of course, and we're getting to that stage of the season now where these results really matter. And Roy Keane set up in the stand isn't really helping his team very much. Chelsea was so dominant. OK, you want to argue over his decisions, but don't go over the top because you need to be there to make decisions. At the Hawthorns, you know, I'm looking at some of these decisions now with a young referee, and I'm wondering, is it too big for some of these referees? We seem to have lost a lot of the senior referees. It's becoming very difficult for them.
Are the experienced
enough? I don't think they are.
This Mike Jones today at the Blackburn-West Brom game, you look at it, he's got to have a better understanding of the game. Simple as that.
Top 4 positions in the Premier League as things stand. Just about time to say goodbye to BBC One viewers. But via the red button, our football service continues till 6 o'clock. We'll study the league tables in greater detail, continue to discuss today's results, and we'll hear from the managers and players that are emerging from dressing rooms as we speak. So to stay with us here in the Final Score studio, press the red button. This is where we close on BBC One. Bye for now.